Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, cool. So we are starting immediately.
I've
Today
shared.
I'm not. Please, test. Hello, can you hear me?
I've shared.
Okay. So Ayoshabi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's it going?
Nothing much. So we're starting now, and thank you for the inspiration you sent the last time. So we're going to walking through the process of how to build this design in Framer. And then we're going to do like a second part series where we're going to recreate the exact same thing um in Webflow. And afterwards, there'll be like other bonus tips attached to it for like a third part series. Okay. So let's just jump right in. Okay. Um okay. Second. All right. So now for those of us that are new to Framer, I'm using the Framer app, but if you if you don't have to download the Framer app, what you can simply do is come over to your browser. Then you want to head over to framer.com. Just give me a second. Let me move my browser over to this screen. Yeah. So you want to come over to framer.com. So www.framer.com, and then you want to scroll all the way down till you get to desktop apps. Then you can download for Mac or for Windows, depending on whatever you want to use. Okay, whatever device you want to use. So once you've done that, you can go ahead to open the file, open the application, Framer, like so. And once you do that, I have a couple of projects, but you should see like a blank page if you are new to it. So what you want to just simply do is you want to come over to click on new project. Okay, so we are going to get a fresh, clean blank canvas. And let me just quickly go over like the property sections again. So here we have where all your list of pages are going to be showed, all your layers as well as your assets, and we'll build that accordingly. Okay. And then on the top right bar is where you can simply publish, and once you hit publish, you have a direct live website. It's that easy. Okay. So if you want to create insert different items, template, and so on, you can find that here. You have your layout, your text, CMS, and we're going to see that in action as well as your action menu. So I'm going to explain this as we move on into this live session. Okay. Please, guys, give me just a moment. Okay, so I just want to quickly post the link on X for people that want to join so that they can also have access to watching us live on YouTube. So just gonna do that in a second here. Shabi, are you there? I'm trying to tag you. Hello, can you hear me? Shabi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, you can tag me. Okay, my name is Ayosh Shabi. Ayosh, yeah, that's me. I'm just trying to get my camera up. Just pardon me. I'll get it up now.
Okay. So let's jump right in. Is it? Yeah. So back to business now. So this is the canvas. So first thing first, I'm just going to do what we are going to walk through today is very straightforward. I shall be provided this inspiration link, and it was more like a little challenge for me to try and recreate this website. So first thing first, you notice that it has like this toggle between light mode and dark mode. And then you have like this button that shows all projects and all the projects and Masonry Grid. So what we are going to do is we're just going to create 2 pages. I'm just going to use, for the purpose of this class, I'm going to use like random images I find online so that the class does not get too long. If I want to get like into like all the needs and bits of designing this website. Okay. So what really fascinated with the fact that we have this scrolling here, and you can see like this kind of masonry grid as well as this sidebar here. So you can see you can scroll on this side and you can also scroll right here, right? And everything works perfectly. So the only thing I'm going to add just slightly is that I know that this is a very nice design, all like that, but adding a scroll bar for this section here may not feel like naturally intuitive to users. So I'll most likely add a scroll bar to just this particular section so that it makes sense to the user. Okay. Now moving on. So let's just start creating it. So what I'm going to do is, so that I don't have to go back and forth, I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this section here, like so. So I'm going to paste that in so I can see that here. So I'm working with desktop 1200. I know that this is like all of my screen is about 1868, but it's still going to be very, very responsive as we move on. Okay. So first thing first, I always like to do is I always like to set up my colors and my textiles right very quickly to make things easier for me. So what I'm going to do is again, I just want to specify that I'm not taking this person's website Porto Russia as my own. It is just for educational purposes on to teach you how you can create really amazing websites on Framer. That's basically much it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna come over to my plugins as on my Edge browser, and I just want to take Font Ninja. So what is gonna help me to do is like I'll be able to see the kind of fonts that this person use, as well as the size and weight and all like that. Okay. So like I'm not really designing this screen. Let me close this. Is it wrong? So I'm not going to be designing this screen. I'll just mostly just try and
Finally, I have my
like,
camera on.
okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
So
Yeah, so let me.
I'm going to have this bunch of cards set here, right? And we'll try and see how we can create close to it as possible, right? So let's go in to building this. So first thing first is I'm going to set up my color style, like I said earlier. So just to take a frame. So I hit F for my keyboard for people that are used to it, or you can come over to layout and click on frame, row, column, grid, image, video. That's how you can create different planes, right? So what I want to do is I want to come over to fill, take my color picker and set the color here. All right. So for this now, I'm going to call it my background primary. Okay. And then for the next one, so I'm going to pick this color style here. So I'm just creating the color style, right? So for this one again, I'm going to add a new style by clicking on this plus icon, and I'm going to call this my background secondary. All right. So this is a little bit of like beginner slash intermediate course, not a really beginners friendly kind of course. You want to see like the beginner course. Is that your mic?
Yeah, apologies. It was my phone.
So what we can go on to do now is we can literally select our background here, right? And so this is our canvas, and we can take either the background primary or secondary to work with. Okay, so now let's move over to our layer section here. So in our layer section, what I'm going to do is I literally don't need any fill background for our canvas section. So if I click on plus, you're going to see that it's going to be empty here. All right. However, what I can do now is I can come over to layout and select frame. Okay. So like this. So what we want to do first is we want to select this header point and then click on layout. So what that does is that it automatically like kind of magnets that frame into a space. So as I progress, you will really have a clear understanding of what I'm trying to do. So what I'll do is in terms of width, I want to change it to fill. In terms of height, I want to change it to what viewport. So what is viewport? Viewport is the maximum amount of height your browser has. So you can see that it's taking up the entire space here, despite the fact that there's still like kind of free space here. So that's what viewport means. So what I'm going to do is I don't need actually this extra space. So I'm going to select this and change this from height to fit content, like so. Okay. And then for the width, I'm going to leave it as fixed, right? Because it's trying to mimic your actual browser. So this frame, I'm going to call it wrapper, right? Or your main content wrapper. So main wrapper, pretty much. And now, if you look at this, we have like 2 columns. So let me just trace it out here. So if you look at this, so we've got like 2 columns. Can you see it? So that's what we're going to try and do next. So how do we achieve this now? So I can literally come over to layout, select columns, and then drag it out in like this, and then we have 2 columns. But by default, you notice that this is larger while this is smaller. Okay, so what I can simply do is I'm going to work with this type of sizing here, right? So we have 1FR. So 1FR is just like what's your frame size? So there's a difference between fill and relative. Okay, so this relative now takes up a sizable amount, and you see what I mean. So if I say I want this to be 100%, right? So you can say it takes up the entire screen. However, if I say I want this to be 1FR, so it's looking at the size of its order for it's able to like take decision. So what I want to do instead is I'm going to select this first one. I want it to take just 30% of my screen. All right. So now that I've taken up 30% of my screen, notice that.
So sorry. So for people that don't know, or people that are more used to Webflow, this is an equivalent of like the Webflows grid, CSS grid, or Quick Stack, right?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So now we have this section. So what I want to do is so notice that there's no like kind of like large amount of space, right? So in these terms now, in this case we call it padding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the wrapper now. All right. And then I want to add a layout so that it wraps everything around it. Okay. So once it wraps it around it, what I can simply do is I want to make sure that this main wrapper is set to viewport height, but there's like an inner stack inside it. Okay. So this inner stack now, in this case, is not necessary. All right. So I'm just going to ungroup that. So if I right click, I can see remove stack. Okay, so it removes the stack. So notice that we have this frame here now, right? But they are stacked on each other. So what I can do is I can come over to my direction here and change the direction, and then everything go back to what I want. So now I want to add like a padding for this section here. So you can see this section, like this is padding here. Can you see? Yeah, cool. So I'm going to come over back to this section here, come back to my main wrapper, and then I want to add a padding of 20. And you can even break it down like this by adding it one after the other if that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to make this 20. All right. So 20 feels like a bit much, so I'm going to make it 10. Yeah. So now that we have that as 10, then what we want to do next is quickly try and just map out the structure of this first section, because we are practically done with the second section, as it were. So we have this top section, show up project, and this toggle icon. We have all of these cards, right? So first thing first, let's try and create just one card. And this is where we're going to be talking about like components. So component is a feature whereby you can create one single element, and that single element now, that single element can be replicated multiple times, right? So and can be replicated multiple times so that you can maybe tweak just a little bit or a single part of it. So in this case, we're also going to be taking the advantage of CMS. The way CMS works in Framer is that it cannot be your main default page, right? You can use it as a main default page, but what you have to do first is you have to click on plus, create a new CMS page, and add a sample. Okay, so if I add this as a sample now, so it gives me like a boilerplate of different CMS collections, right? And inside the collection we have this one called blog out of the box. Now you can see that now this is not yet taking advantage of the component. It's just taking advantage of the CMS, right? So that you mostly just have to do less work in the UI than having to do everything one after the other. Now this is what I mean. So if I click on this three dots, now I can set the main page, right? I can set literally the main page as the home page. However, this is not basically, or this is not fully what I'm looking to achieve. However, this is actually what I'm fully thinking of trying to achieve. So what I'm going to do is first is I'm going to set this as my home page. Now, once I set it as my home page, now notice that it comes over here as the home, and then the blog is just the different. So this is the blog inner page or the detail page, while this is now the blog index page in Framer. So what I want to do now is, so now that I have this, let's just break things down. So if I open up this section now, so you can see I have my blog list and I have this blog title. All right. So what I'm going to do easily is select this blog container, drag it all the way outside, like so. Then I'm going to come back to pages, go back to old home, because I've already started something already. So I can literally just what I do, I can literally just open up my layers, take this, copy it in, right? And paste it here, like so. Okay. So it's going to maintain the same spacing. So all I just want to do is make sure this is set to fit and remove all my padding by making this 0. All right. And then we have this. Some of you may be wondering, why did I just do this? Why did I not just continue from where I did? Yes, you can also continue from
I was
there.
just about to ask that.
Yeah, so you can actually just continue from where you stop, right? But because I'm lazy, right, and I wanted to show that I needed this stuff, and that's like one of the easiest way to doing it. Now, another way to bring in this block listing is by clicking on insert, come over down to collection list. But now you won't see anything here until you've created a CMS table. So another way of creating a CMS collection is by clicking on CMS here, right? And then you can add a new collection. So if you're on a free plan, you can create, I think, up to like 9 or 10 collections. However, once you are going to like the cheapest paid plan for people that just want to host like a single page website or multiple page website, I don't think you'll be able to create more than 1 or 2 collection items, except you want to like upgrade and all like that. Okay, so with that being said, now we have our layout structured. We just need to add in our colors, right? So first thing first, so I say that we have like primary, secondary. I always like to make white as like my base primary, but in this case, since it's not, I think it's using white somewhere. Let me see. Okay, so it's not using white anyway. So I'm definitely not going to use that then. So what I can simply do is I can come over to layers, select the main wrapper, and then I know that the main wrapper has to take the background primary, like so, and then the collection item. So look at it now. So the good thing about your collection item is so you have your collection list, which shows like the container of every element, and then your collection item is that one singular element. So you just need to use, so you won't have access to like editing others, you only have access to editing just the first one. All right, and this is where we cannot take things a little bit further. All right, so by taking things a little bit further now, we can now create a component. How do you create a component? So you can simply right click and then create a component, or I tend to use mostly the shortcut. Now, when I create this component here now, I'm going to call it card, right? So something that I'm familiar with. Okay, so let's start styling things. So by default, we know that our color is going to be secondary, right? So we're going to give it a little bit of padding. So so they have like the same padding all around. So let's do that. So to achieve that, so I'm going to give it like say 10 pixel or 12. Let's see. Yeah. And then we have like this heading here. We have like one heading and one text here, right? But like notice that all of it is actually clickable. And then when you hover on it, it's a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot again of the slightly darker version, paste it in and add it as another color style very quickly. So what I'll do is, let me take this one out, create a frame, select this, take my color picker, pick this, and then I want to call this background tertiary. All right, so now that I've created this background tertiary, so let's just match the items now. So okay, so let me just break things up here. So we have this already set for us, right? So we have switch and identity evolution and so on, right? And then we just need to introduce these 2 elements here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a frame, which I already have, and then I'm going to create a text. So duplicate, and yeah, you can ask me any question on the live chat. Okay, so that it's more interactive. Hello, Ayo, are you there?
Yeah, so I was saying that is it possible that we work on the same file?
Yeah.
So maybe I could be getting the color palettes ready for you while
yes,
you.
yes, we can work on the same file. So if you're using a free plan, yes, it's easier. But once you subscribe or you go to like a pro plan, then any other person you invite, you are going to have to pay, I think, around $20 to $25 they are about to work with you.
Okay,
All right.
let
But
me see
that,
if I can.
yeah, so let me just
Let me see if I can quickly create an account.
no, let me invite you and then you can create an account from there. All right.
Okay, all right.
So I'm gonna copy.
I'll drop you my email.
Yeah, just drop your email. So I'm going to copy the link and send to you.
Okay. Yeah, the link works, no problem.
Yeah, so Now, while all of that is there, so I'm going to add a layout like this. And then now, let's just talk a bit about distribution. So we have multiple types of distribution. So we could do start. So it literally starts from the edge. And then we could do center, and then pushes all the child elements into the middle. So by child element, I'm referring to like this element, and then this container as being the parent. All right. If I select this again and take it all the way to end, it takes it all the way to the end. And if I say space between, it gives us a space in between. If I say space around, it gives just a nice amount of space around the elements. So the same amount of space here between here and this section here is the one here and here. All right. If I say space evenly, it just does that nicely. Okay. So, but I rarely use space evenly and space around. I mostly use start, center, end, and space between. Okay. So once I have that all said, next I just need to do is take this element and place it in place like this. So now you can see that immediately I dragged it in, everything feels like it's a bit scattered. So now this is where we now have to start like putting things together. So I'm going to select this frame and select the stack. Right click, want to add a stack. Then now notice how I'm going to change the direction of just this inner stack element. Okay, so I can literally call this card body, right? And then I can call this card head. So it's always a good practice to name your files, especially like when you're collaborating with people, so that you are able to know exactly what is what as opposed to what is not. All right. So because before you know it, you start seeing stack, frame, and editing may be a little bit harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this overall component variant. You can see like everything's all like that. And then I want to change the direction, right, to this way. So now that I've done that, I can literally select this, change it to fill. Now, some of you may be asking that, is it only stack that we use? No, we also have grid, okay? And we are going to be seeing the use of Masonry Grid. So this like, take this class like the full, quick access guide to using Framework to building that amazing next site. So again, I'm going to select this one and change it to what? Change the layout, okay? So I'm just going to take this one and so once you do this, right, by default, so let me just remove this for now, is yeah. So now now that I have this, now if I go outside, right, notice that all I have is just this container and title and content, right? And I'm seeing a bunch of elements here, but I don't know what that is. So I'm going to explain one after the other. Okay, so now what we are going to do first is select this, and now we want to make sure that the CMS is able to recognize it. Now we do that by adding variables. Okay, so now when you look at it, by default, because it's an existing item on Framer, these are a list of variables. Now, how do we come about creating these variables? Okay, you can simply click on this, select the plus icon in front of this, and notice anywhere you say plus icon, it means that it can be made a variable. All right, right inside our component. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to click on create variable, and then I can click on either. So now each element, so whether it's a text, it's a color, it's a shape, it's a frame, has its own specific related item. So in this case, we can have plain or formatted text. All right. For the purpose of this class, I'm not going to talk about formatted text. It's only where like maybe in the next class I can do like a bonus section where I talk about like blog series and all. But if you like to learn about like plain and formatted text, you can check my YouTube or okay, let me just quickly add Sharpie to accept, and you are in. Yeah, I think you should be able to edit now. All right. So I'm going to come over to content, click on create. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Click on create variable and click on plain text. Okay. So again, if you created it to show up this model, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remove this because I want to link it back to this. So how do I do that? I can select this, click on content, set variable, and title, like so. Very straightforward. And again, for this one too, I'm just going to link the content right back to what image title. Yes, so for this one, it was date, so I'm going to do date, format date, and we should be back to this. All right, but in this case, I just want to use like this simple title and all like that. Okay, so for the next 3 to 5 minutes, I'm just going to try and then populate the CMS very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to come over back to CMS, come back to our blog, and then select this item and start editing it. So, but before I go on, what I want to first do is I want to just work on items that is only associated with what I want to do. So first thing first is I'm going to click on edit field. So what edit field is just like the same variables, right? So what it allows me to do is that I am able to see all the headings in blog field, and this block field now is going to I'm just going to edit it a little bit slightly. So here now we have title, we have description. So I'm just going to add a new field, and I can call it plain text, and then call it description. All right, then afterwards let me click on it to see whether there will be any other thing that we need. Okay, so that's literally pretty much it. So every other thing I do not need. All right, so basically I can go on to edit. Slug is by default, right? Because that's like the link associated to the detail page I was talking about earlier. So whenever you click any of these ones, it takes you to this. So like when I click on this, so this is like the detail page. All right, so it's you can't remove that. So I'm going to remove the date because I don't need it. I'm going to keep the image as is. I'll be taking just some random images on Midjourney as we go on. Then I'm going to have the text description, and this is the contents which I also do not need, at least for now. Okay. It can always be like very, very long, all right, but like you have so much feeder items, right? But for the simplicity of this class, I'm just going to reduce that. So we have all of this, right? So now that we have this here, we can go back home, select this, and then we can start playing directly with all of these things from our CMS. So now I can click on the first section, and then for this one, it's going to be so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 screens. If you're watching this section, this part here, you can feel free to like fast forward it a little bit. All right. So Ayo Shami, which questions do you have for me while I'm trying to do this? Are you there? Hello. Hello, Ayo Shami, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. So no questions really, but it's just I don't know. It's just very striking the similarity that they both have. That is Prema and Webflow. So it looks like now you're creating like your CMS collection list, or where you're going to like where you're going to pull the details that you're going to add to the main page from. That looks like what you're creating right now.
Yes, basically. All right. So let me head over to Midjourney.
Yeah, are you generating the images that you're using?
No. Yes, I don't think I have time for that.
Okay, so what are you using Midjourney for?
So what I use Midjourney for is like I now use it as a form of search engine for images, because like people have generated amazing images already, right? So you just want to look for something in that line.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'm just going to, so I mostly work with this rather than this now. So I just come here and like pick something like you definitely see very, very amazing cool stuff that you can actually use, right? So look at this now, like there's no, I could have possibly thought of like creating something like this out on the box. So I can literally save the image or copy the image, right? So I'm just going to copy the image and then, no, okay, I don't think I can paste it in. Let me try. Okay, so not working. So I've got to save the image. So I can literally right click and save the image. Then I can choose the image. Where it go? Yep. Yeah. So and there you have it, right? So let me just do the other part. One section. Let me see this. Will be able to work without it. Yeah, without it.
Okay. Is it that you are able to download the image and then upload it?
What?
Are you able to download the image and upload it yourself?
I think something's wrong with your network. Your mic can't really make the words you are making. So again, Sundance Film Festival. Then the description is a flexible identity or the champion.
How's the audio now? So what I was asking was, is it that you're unable to download the images from Midjourney and upload on Framer?
No. I was able to. I was just trying to like be lazy and copy and paste, see whether it's gonna
Oh,
work.
okay.
But like it's not a bad feature if you ask me. So Midjourney. So in this case, again search Sundance. Like Sundance film festival. Yeah. So I'm just gonna borrow all of these images. Like I said, all the images I use, I'm not using just for educational content purposes. Literally, this is not a client work or something like that. So I can download this, then choose image, just pick that in, open, come back here. Then we have PAC, NYC. Like so, we're gonna click on this. So just random images basically. Like this. Is download. Okay. And one more. Okay, two more. Let me just do two more. Because I want to show you like this scrollable effect, right? So Vips. I know the good part is like you can also like collaborate with people to while someone is working on CMS, you could also like be working on the design directly. So brand and products, we design that transports fans to the front. Okay, so again, you can also edit this log. So for example, I want to say like this one, if I come over to say VIPs. So if I let me push this a little bit to the right. Okay, it's not going. So let me just separate them again. Bring this back here. So if I check this now, you can see /Twitch, /Park NYC. And if I want to do the same here, so I can literally do, I don't need to put / right? Because like it just shows you where your website link is going to look like. And then I'm just going to put the same thing here. Okay. So another thing you could do is when you come back to edit field, you can come over here and then you want to say the part of the URL that identify the page, right? So you could say you want it to be exactly as the title or description. Okay. So now I can literally edit everything myself. So if I click on that, if I click on this now, you can say it changes to this one here. So I can have it at exactly what this is like this. Come over here, change to PSC and NYC, right? What about this? Sundance, right? And /Twitch. Yep. All right. So let's just pick two more. Okay. I think I'm not done with some of the copy. Ready go. So PSCYC is a performing arts identity designed to invite the world in. All right. So you have that, and then next one is swipe. And then swipe says an ongoing series created artificially by Felipe Rocha as part of our research on AI generated images at ... Okay, what happened? Well, ongoing series. Let me just find ongoing series. All right. Then now, so we have all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So two more. New item. Down global. And then for the description, it's going to be a fan first identity for the biggest event in Netflix history. All right. So let me just pick an image quickly. Say swipe. Okay, so select this, more information. And then you can also crop your image if you feel like it's too long. Okay, so I'm gonna hit crop. Yeah. And I think that's something. And then you can even also like kind of like add a focus to like where you want the image to be seen, and the others like maybe actually cut off. All right. So those are like the nice tips and tricks that you could get with Framer. All right. So I think so we can save changes. Yeah, let's just leave all of these other images as is. And yeah, we can go back now. So now that we have that, I can separate them again in this backup. And now, if I go back home, notice that everything has changed. All right. But however, if you check the design on this website, you can see that it starts with about us, and then after about us, it goes on to like the other section, right? So let's do that. So very quickly, what we can do is we can either choose to create like a separate card in this same blog list item, or add this same components, right? So this same one, we're just going to copy it, bring it outside, just above the blog list, and I'm going to group them, right? So now that I've grouped them now, let me start styling things to look more appropriate. So first thing first, I want to change this one to fit content like this, and then the space between this and this is not as much, and then the padding is a little bit more. So I'm going to give it as 24 around those corners, right? So my corner should be around 32. Then I want to remove this background totally. Then I want to fix a little bit of my spacing here. A little of my spacing will be probably around, so that's my gap, 20. Cool. Okay, that should be 28. And now I get somewhere. So let's add a little bit of functionality. Right now, notice that when I put my mouse on it, nothing happens. So I can literally select this and come over here and click on over. All right. And then when I over, I just want to change only just the background, right, to my tertiary color. So now look at how nice the animation is going to look like. And notice that your cursor changes now. Okay. So those are the two functionalities you get out of the box with Framer. Okay. So now what I want to also do next is like right now my image is connected here. So I'm not going to say anything here, but I can set like maybe a default image right here. All right. So I can click on this, choose I just pick first one, right? So we have something like a fallback to work with. Okay. So I can click on this and we have image. Now for the first item here, right? It's just gonna be about me and all like that. And notice that everything here is actually missing for this first one because I actually like duplicated it. So I really don't need any of this for here because like this, I want to talk about like the about section. So I'm going to click on this. All right. So now again in the about section here, so let me just take a screenshot of just this portion alone and then paste it right here. Where do you go? Okay, so we have this now. In the about section, we should not have an image at all. So what we can do is we either choose to select this and then we can set like a visibility option, all right? Or we can duplicate, add a new variant. So a new variant can now be like, okay, we are using variant 1 or variant 2. But in this case, I just want to set the visibility functionality, right? So, and again, I could add like a transform if it were, say, a CMS, but there's no need for that. So what I can do is I can set the variable and for just this image, right? So let me just name it to image or logo as it were, and then select create variable. All right, and I'm just gonna call it to image. Okay, so now that I have this now, I can select this and then I don't want to show my image at all. So I have this. Cool. So now next thing is notice that I have like all of this still connected to date, so I can fix that. So how do I do that? I have to go back to the component again. Select this. See how I have my transform set to date. I need to literally remove that. Select my content, create a variable, and then set a variable to description. But mind you, I've not created description. So what I want to first do is that let me just do a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm going to come to variables come to dates. I don't need that. So I'm going to remove that. I want to rearrange everything such a way that it makes sense to me. So image first, starting from the title, then we've got the link of the entire container, right? And then you can choose to show image. Now, the interesting part about Framer is that it allows you to add dividers. So let me see. Okay, it's not here. I don't know why. Where did you go to? Border? No. I know I can find a divider here today, but or maybe it's on the beta version. So you have your image, you have the show image, show image, title, and your link. All right. So your link is when you select it, takes you to that appropriate page that you want it to be, right? So what we can simply do is we can select this, go back now, and we have this, right? And then notice that out of the box we have this. So now we can start adjusting things in place. Okay. So first thing first is, instead of having this set to grow and fit, so what on this, I just want it to be one line. All right, because like all the names are not more than that. See, and then the font size now. So now you can see we have something called styles. Okay, so if I come over to asset, you will always see your styles here, right? H1 all the way down to H P. So what I just want to do is I want to switch this style for now from this to this. Okay, so now that I have this now, it doesn't match it yet. So what you could do is that you could create like different you can also add your own style. So how I can do that is that I can select this, right, and add a new style. Okay, and for this, for me, it's going to be like maybe a smaller heading, so maybe like another H4. So or I use an existing H4. Okay, so I'm going to use an existing H4, which is this, and then I can take this and set it to what? Fill. Okay, so then I also want to make sure that the spacing, there is no like much gap between them. So maybe like around 2, no, 0. All right. So now that I have this now, if I go back now, everything should sit tightly spaced together, nice and cool. So I can select this, come over here, click on set variable, and now I can add the word type a second heading, but this time I can call it maybe description, right? So you want to always give a name that is familiar with like your CMS, so it makes everything clean. So you just say description is equals to description. Nice. So for this section here, you can see it's asking me to add fetch. We're not going to talk about fetch in this class anyways, but I'm going to click on description, set a variable, and set it to what? Description. So description equals description, and everything is looking nice and clean. Okay. But notice that like the texts are like close to each other, right? So how do we fix for this? So first thing first, I want to make sure that our content has like a dummy content to work with. All right. So I'm going to just take a bit of this content here. So again, you can also like add content in like your default variable. So I can click on variables, come over to like this default section here and paste that in, so I can see what I'm working with. Okay, so now that I've seen this, I can literally come and edit it now. Okay, so first thing first is I want this to be 16 pixels, right? For the people that look, we're not going to talk about responsiveness. If you want to see responsiveness, videos on responsiveness, you can also check videos on my YouTube, and make sure you subscribe, share with others so that others too can learn how to start building that over $10,000 an award-winning website with Framer today. So I'm going to click on this and change the line to 1.45, so, or 1.4. Then I want to make it from regular to semi-bold, right? So now that I have that, if I go back now, so everything should be looking nice and a little bit put together. All right. So the next section is, notice how like this card is a little bit longer, but everything is stacking to the top. Remember when I was talking about like your alignment being put to the top? So this is what I mean. So right now it's set to center. I just want to change it to what? Top, right? And when I go back home now, you can see we have something looking nice like this. All right. So now the interesting part is that instead of me having to like go in and come back over and over again, editing and stuff, what I can do is I can actually edit directly from here. But the only issue is that I have to add all of the elements to variables, such as adding padding, spacing, gap, and so on. So let me give a quick demo of that. So if I click on this now and I want to just fix the spacing here outside this component, I can click on create and it gives me gap. I can come back here and then now you can see I have access to gap. So I can literally tweak as much as I want. Okay, so I'm gonna make this one about us, right? And then we have all of this text written here. Okay, so with that being said now, so let's just fix the corner radius ever so slightly again. So again, I'm just gonna add radius, go back out just to try and match things properly, right? So 24, right? I said what I'm doing is only affecting this one here, right? So if I want to affect for others too again, I have to select this one. So 24. And in my own opinion, this image feels like it's a little bit too big. Okay, so let's just reduce that. So what you can do is you can hold shift and option if you're using a Mac, or shift and alternate if you're using Windows. You can just size things up like this. All right, and if I go back home now, everything should be looking nice and clean. So why is this one not looking nice and clean? Okay, let's try 100. Let me see what's going on. Okay. So let's do 80. So for this image, we're just going to do 80. Yeah, that looks put together. So let's increase our font size a little bit. So I'm going to change this one to 17. Go back home. All right. So the next thing we need to crack up the spacing between here. So again, this is where you can start getting confused. So when you're creating your variables, you always give names that is specific, because everything is also going to like categorize everything as one single element. So you can either set it to that same variable that you have earlier, right? So whatever that means, whatever happens to this one also affects this one. So if I go back home now, I can have something like this. Okay, so that's like another easy way to manage these things. Okay, so now that we have that now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this background altogether. Where'd you go? Then make sure that all my elements is set to fit contents. For now, I'm still going to change it. Okay, and then notice that we have like a consistent amount of spacing. So let's do that. So here for the overall we have 12. So and then for the block cards too, you can have our gap is going to be 12. Okay, so now you can see that styling takes like the less amount of time that you use if you're actually like writing code. But I noticed that the spacing still feels like a little bit too much here as opposed to like what we have going on here, right? So let's just quickly fix that. Like this is just me picking things out here now. So for this part, instead of 24, I can do 16, right? And then for the corner radius now, I can literally do say 20 and 20, like so. Okay, so now that you have that, we can now take this all the way and bring it into this frame here now. Okay, so I'm just going to call this lists, put it, select the left wrapper. So I'm going to call this left or side menu, side wrapper, right, and paste everything inside like so. So what I'll do is notice that it's showing like absolute position, right? So what I'll do is I want to come back to this side wrapper and click on layout. Now, if I select this again, it's now back to what relative, which is actually what I'm looking for. But remember, I was using fixed content. So what I want to do is I want to do fill, right? And then I want to select the given element and also do what fill, like so. Okay. So once you've done that, now in your lists, you can set your distribute to what to start, right? And then you want to make sure that the height is set to fit. Your side wrapper, you also want to make sure that your height is set to fill. But for your list now, you also want to make sure that the side is set to what? Fill. Okay. So it starts like this. Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to make sure that this is set to fit. Let me see. So for my bullet bill, I think it has a padding already. Yeah. So I'm going to remove the padding for now. Then work my padding from this list so that it works for every one of them at once. So I'm going to give that 20 pixels. No, let's just do 12. Yeah, that works. Okay, now everything looks too big, because if you preview it in this section, you can see how big it is. And if you also do for full screen, you can see how big and in your face it is, right? Compared to this here where everything just looks tiny and well and neat and put together. So let's just fix that quickly. So in order to do that, we just need to start fix for this one. Now we are going to take all the way down to like 14, and then for this one we're going to take it all the way down to 15. All right, and then we go back home now and we preview things, right? So everything is looking smaller, so we just need to fix adjust for the width. So this is for a large screen monitor, and this is more like a smaller screen monitor. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna do this one now. This is my side wrapper. I can do 24%, right? So just keep testing whatever is going to work for you. So notice how the image is kind of like out of the screen, but if I click on full screen now, everything is where it needs to be. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I can literally right click, come straight down to the bottom of my browser and inspect it to just see the actual size. So I can say I'm using 360 pixels, right? So that's what I'm going to do for this. But again, mind you, I'm using a live browser. So in order to make things more put together, so what I usually do is I can take this one now and create a new breakpoint. Okay. So first thing first is I want to edit the breakpoint of this one. So I can say I want this to be 1440. Click update like this, and then now I can also add like a desktop next to it. Okay. So once you do that, now you'll be able to have two different breakpoints to work with. Now, why I like this over Webflow is the fact that I can see two breakpoints at once, and I can see how everything's going to behave. Okay. So again, I notice that this is pushing out of space, right? So what I can do is simply do it. Select these elements here and make sure everything is set to fill container, and then I can now go ahead to remove my min width. Okay. So if I go back home, everything should be tucked in nice and neat. All right. So again, what I can now do here is that now that I have this here, even even on a small browser, there should be a proper way for me to like see these things cleanly, right? So there are two ways you can do it. So what I'm going to do is, in order not to like be editing it too much, so what I usually do is that even in my breakpoint, I can give like maybe so this would be my large screen, and then this will be my 1200 screen. All right. So for my 1200 screen now, I can even come over here, click on edit, and then this is where I want to like start working with breakpoint. Okay, and then I can still add more screens by right clicking and adding. So in my medium now, so this one is going to be 1440, and then it's going to be 1200. All right. So and then I can still even add like, where to go? So I have large, I have medium, and then I can have my small at 810, and then this one will be 340. So around there. Okay. So so for this now, I just want this. If I have my mean width at 1440 and above, right? I think I'm in a good spot. But like if I have this one as 12, right? And then I can also have this. So this is 12. Can also have this at 12. So let me just add. So 1440, 1200. All right. So 1440 it could be 12, right? Let's do 13. All right. So now that I have that now, okay. For my image, and this is what I was talking about, like golf screen size and all. So I can adjust this one for my image here, and then adjust my gap just a little bit. So this time around now, if I add the gap here, it's going to affect it. So what I want to do is I want to select this gap section here. Or no, since I'm changing the components here, it won't affect it. So I can literally select my two the first card and then change it to 1,200, and then for the second card I can also 1,200. Okay, so once I fix the padding now, what I can go on to do next is just fix this one here. So the space here is no, just come back here for this one and then start reducing things. So can have like 16 pixels, set this one to 12. Set it to 12. Set it to 12, right? And then notice like the overall spacing now. So let's just fix that too. So for this one here now, I can have this one set to 12. So I think I can even add it to the gap and let's see whether it will work. Yeah, that works nicely. Okay, so we are moving forward. So if I preview this now, right? So I can now say I want to like make it a little bit smaller for this one here. So if I scroll back up, so for my side wrap, I think I have like 24%, so I can do 20% and then set my maximum width to like 360 pixels, right? Okay. To change this one to fix so that you can have access to the pixel value. So 360 pixel and then preview it again, right? So I think it's a little bit just like that. So let's do side wrapper 24%, preview it. Or better still, let me just change it to fix, change it to 360. Yeah. So yes, and there you have it. So I think that the padding is a bit much for this case scenario here. So what I can quickly do is I can change this one to 20 or 16, and everything should look nice and neat, right? Yeah, 16 or 12. All right. So if I preview this now, yeah, everything looks nice and neat. Okay, and then if I also show for like the smaller screen I was talking about earlier, everything should look nice and neat. All right, so these are 1440 pixels. Then if I close it all the way, right, so you can see this. Okay, so that works pretty nice. Okay, so now that we have all of that set in stone, we now want to work on like our scroll functions, because if you can look at it now, so right now we cannot scroll. Okay, so we need to be able to scroll here, and it is literally very, 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 very easy to do. So, but before that, let's add another frame, excuse me, into our side wrapper, right? So what this frame does is to take this upper section here, right? And we can do that by doing this. So I'm going to copy that just inside the side wrapper, right? And then I can call this one header, right? Like I said, and then list and projects, okay, or about and projects list. Okay. So something that just makes sense to you, and then now you just want to put the title. So their name is Portorosha, and Saturday, September, New York. So I'm just going to duplicate that. Now, the interesting part is that these are you can start adding a little bit of like functionality to your app or website. So I'm going to click on insert. And then what I want to do is I'm going to come over to creative, and you can see you have a countdown, you have a time and date, right? So I'm going to drag this component in. So this component you see now, right? You could format it as a 12 hours, 24 hours, right? So let me just take another screenshot. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to paste that in. So drag it this way. And see how we've added just a little bit of quick functionality to our UI. So first thing first, we have this. So we could show either the minutes or the seconds, right? So and then we could also show like dates. We could also, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this, right? I'm going to copy it and paste. Like so, right? And then for this one now, I'm going to put a text that's saying New York. So New York. Okay. And then for this one, I just want to show the time, and I want it to be as this. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to change the feed content, bring this together, take this. And the interesting part is like, even for this, I can actually have like put it in my CMS or something like that. But right now, let me just make this one static. Okay. You can even add like more functionality of code override, like whereby you can guess the person location and then put like the kind of city they are in. Right. So but I'm not going to do that for this. So I'm going to change this to feed content like so, and then select all of this. Then again, so you see how you have like Saturday, September 14th. So I'm going to click on this, and then I don't want to show the year, right? So I have this. So like I said, it's just a recreation, right? So what I want to do is feed content, change the gap to 0. Then what again? Yeah, I think that's basically it. Okay. So notice that like there's kind of like comma here. So for me to add the comma, I could literally just duplicate this once more. Or you know what? Let me just duplicate this once more. Take this, replace. So Command Shift V, should do that. Take this out. Just use this as a comma, like so. You want no gaps at all. And then you just want to change the space, right? Like this. So I use my arrow keys to just push it to the right, and it already knows what to do. Okay, and then now the next thing we have is Portorosha. So I'm going to have this like so, and I think we're looking nice and good already. Awesome. So let me just take so there now we can start working like maybe text colors too, right? So and I always like to use something we call semantic naming, right? So I'm going to do text primary. So, and text primary like usually around my absolute values, right? And then secondly, like something I mostly use like almost all the time for like my subtext and everything. And I always use HSL because like it's easier for me to work with. Like I can just like easily tweak these numbers and work. So like 0 being the darkest and 100 being the brightest, right? So now I can play with like 50, right? And then if I want to adjust this, so think of it like a wheel of 360 degree. So if I think of like a wheel, so like this direction and forward, so this is 0, this would be around half of 360, and then this would be all the way to the end. So if I want to give myself like a blue, I don't know that it's half of 360. Half of 360 is like 180. So if I square it to 180 for my U value, I don't know, for some reason this is not working out. But if I start tweaking it, pushing this and then like pushing the values here, so you can see, so this is 180, so that's like 360 all the way to 360. All right. So but it doesn't give you like 360, it gives you 359 to 0. So that way you can start tweaking things around. And then this value now is in terms of like saturation. So how grayish of that value of color do you want all the way to the end, right? So that is what I'm doing here. So for this one, I'm gonna do say like 100, no, 180. I just want, so I just like to work with like grays and blue value, right? So I can give like maybe 240, right? So give me this kind of like bluish stuff, and I can give myself like maybe 8, right? So it gives me very nice, cool, and subtle grays. Or if even though I can even take out to like to 80, so you can see that like my colors become very interactive very quickly, because now I have a clear understanding of how to work my color picker to pick exactly what I have in mind, or kind of views I have for that particular color. So for the name now, I'm going to call this text secondary. And right now it's going to be very, very bright. So I'm definitely going to reduce it by half, definitely. So if I click on create now, so I have something slightly darker, but you can see like it's not absolutely like the same what's the word now, kind of color here. All right. So now that I have this, so I'm gonna give it a name to say, let's just call it like hero, right? And then you now have like a toggle here. Can you see it? So you have this toggle here, and then you have this button here. So let's just create our button very quickly. So I'm going to create a frame type show all projects, show all projects like this, bring it in, select this, right click, and then you want to make it a component, right? So this component again, I'm going to call it button, right? So that I can like add my padding and all like that. I'm going to select this padding layout around those corners. Take my background tertiary, and I think I'm good. So I can add an overstate. So again, you can make it, so if you look at it, like it's a little bit like in the same thing, right? So again, secondary and this tertiary, right? And you have like a nice cool feel to it. Okay, so let's add a little bit of padding to make it move like this kind of movement there. So what I can do is I can come to padding, keep this left, then talk like so, and then when I preview it, you can see it just moves. Nice. So now that we have
That's
that,
a nice interaction.
yeah, very quickly, like
Very nice and subtle.
I can bring this in, and for the toggle, there are multiple ways in which you can do it, right? You could also like get components from people online. So I can click on insert, come over to utility. If I cannot find any of what I'm looking for, that means I have to like create it. And that's like the beauty of components in Framer, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like eyeball it and just try and trace it out slightly. Okay, so it should take no much time at all. So I'm going to zoom out the way, frame like this, then run those corners, copy paste, bring it out, give that background primary, scale that down, bring it in. So while I'm scaling, I'm using shift and option, command and shift for one direction, command and option for everything. Okay, so that's another trick for you. So you can use command and option, shift and command, or shift and control if you're using a Windows, to control just one side, or command and shift and option to control all sides at once. Okay, so can bring that in. So close this one up, and there we have it. All right. So again, let me see. Yeah, this should just move slightly. Cool. So again, I'm going to select this, and in this case now, I'm going to bring it out of this place. Select this, make it a what's it called? A component. All right, and I'm calling it toggle. Okay. So now, if you want to see all your components, you can come over to asset and you can see all your components here. You can even like stack them in folders. And the way to stack them in folders is so let's say I want to stack like all of these 2 elements in folders. I can click on this 3 dots, click on rename, and then whatever name you want to give the folder is what you're going to put in front, and put a / okay. So I can say actions, whatever name right now, like / so you can say I put in a folder, I can select this, rename, make sure that the name is the exact same spelling, and caps lock and all like that. So it looks, so you can see like you have your projects action, you can have like multiple folders in multiple folders. And the reason why this is a very good idea is because if you are building a very, very large website, like 100 or 200 pages, you're going to have like a lot of components, and then finding things will now become very, very difficult. So Frame has added this nice way of making things easier for you to like tuck things in and have a very neat and structured project. And look at, like, you can literally hide everything, right, to have a clean and structured approach to your design. Okay, so now that we have this, now again, you want to add 2 different states as well as your third state. But in this case, I really don't think there's need for that. But let's just add another state. Okay, so I'm going to click on. So notice that it's something I kind of feel like a bug, but it isn't. So you just have like this weird kind of boxes when the component is very, very small. So I'm going to click on overstate, right? And I'm also going to select this one back and click on what? This, right? So then for this one as well, I can say so this one, yeah, I know that I have this set to 2 and this. So I've not talked about absolute position, but let me talk about it very quickly. So the interesting about absolute position is that there are sometimes whereby you don't want to put your element in a structured stack, right? You want to be able to have control over it, or you want to be able to like manipulate the spacing just directly from this little gizmo here. So what you can simply do is I can uncheck this one, right? And then click on this, right? And make it what? 2. And see that it automatically starts. Now, even if I want to like guess the exact amount of padding I can use around all of this thing, I don't even need to stress myself. All I just need to do is click on this 2, select this, make it 2, and then takes up the entire width. So imagine the kind of animation you can create with this alone. So for example, now I can do, say, I'm going to create like 3 states because that's what I want to do. So I'm going to do 12. 32, 16, yeah, something like this. No, from the opposite. So this will be 2 and 16, right? And then I'm going to create one more to see how you can do like very, very fluid animation with Framer. Okay, so you can have this set to 16 and 2, and then last but not the least, you can have this set to like C2, but now 0. Just remove this one. Then this time around, you want to make this, what's the width here? 25. Okay, so let's bring that in. So make the width here 25. And the good thing about Framer is that whenever you adjust something against the parent, so or the primary version, so you can see this primary here, so which is this one here, right? It always gives you this kind of like bluish or purplish color, right? So it automatically tells you that okay, you've actually manipulated it against the parent, right? So now what I want to simply do is when I hover on it, this is going to happen, right? But when I press on it, this is what is going to happen next. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to click on select this one, just like people that are familiar with Figma, right? So I'm going to say on click, this is what I want to happen next. Okay, no delays. Okay, select this one, drag it all the way to this one, and then I want to say on appear. That means when you've clicked on it and this one is showing now, what I want to do is let this one happen next. All right, and then afterwards, when I do this, I also want this one to happen next, right? I also want this one to happen next. Okay, so now just by not even doing anything, right? Now this is where it could get a little bit complex. Like if you want to like reverse the animation back, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to do. So if I click on plus, right, and I click on this it. So now what I can do is I can even make it like more much more subtle, whereby I can like extend the animation, the timing, right, of the design. But in this case, I really don't feel like we need any of this one, because what we can simply do is we can take just this first and the last one, select this one, select this first one, make sure that we have, so you could do physics or you could do time-based. So I'm going to do time-based, and I want my time to like maybe be 0.8 seconds. right? And then I want an increased bounce, right? So that it bounces properly here. So somewhere around there, right? And then, so whenever you edit any animation, a transition on a particular object, that is the object is going to affect it, not the other object, because it's for a while, it took me like a bit of time. And interestingly, Prima just released this time-based animation last week. Before, it was basically only fixes that we used to use, which is a little bit kind of like an edit for people that like are not familiar with physics, how physics works and all like that. But time-based animation makes sense, right? So again, I'm going to do a 0.5, and I want my bounce to be very exaggerated, right? So if I preview this now and I click on this, okay, I haven't connected it, so I need to do that. So I can do click, preview, and click this. Why is it not switching? Let me see whether there's a delay somewhere. Put delay 0.5 seconds. Where did it go? Where did it go? New variants. Oh, wrong thing. Supposed to be this, select this. So when you click on this, so I'm going to click on new event or new transition on click, and then I want to go to this. Okay, so let's preview that. That's it. So again, the same, I can also click this now, and I want to change it back to variant 1. So let me just call it light and dark. All right.
That looks nice, 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 nice.
So what we can now do is we can have our background secondary again, and make this one super dark, so somewhere around here. Yeah. Then let's make this one just slightly lighter. Give it a stroke. Yeah, I think that works. So let's just preview this from here. So everything should look super big. So now you can see you have this. So you can see the way it's bouncing, right? So now that you have your nice bounce, you can now fit your element, change your distribution, and then again, notice how like we have this in this header now in this. So I'm going to call this top, right? And then I want to call this section bottom. All right. So now that I have this section as bottom, that's wrong. So now that I have this section as so let's call this one bottom. All right. And then I can drag this all the way to the top. Select our layout again, and then we have this, right? So for this one now, I'm going to definitely do space between. So notice I've not used space around or space even, because like for me, then again, I want to also do like space between here, right? So I can have something like this. Or let me do start instead, and then take my way up to like 20, 32, right? And then set the same padding I have going on here, which is 12, right? And let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. So 12, right? Again, you can also like kind of like scale things down just a little bit more. Let me see. Well, I think they're literally the same height. Okay, the same height. So I just need to. So this is 42. So I'm going to make it So let me go into the component and reduce the height from here. So 40, and then for this one, it's 29. It's going to be 40. And then for this, let's just lock things into 2. All right, then we need to increase the width. So 64. Then this is gonna be 36. Then I'm gonna block it in 60. All right. Again. 60. No. I think that's 36, 36. Its contents. Its contents. No. Yeah. Let's preview that now. So full screen. So everything still looks too big. So let's do 32. So be 28. All right. For this same thing, 32. Then let's reduce this to maybe 14. It contains. It contains. So could do four. Okay, 8. Yeah, that works. Then we can round off those corners. Round, 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 round. Maybe 48, 60. And then go back. Yeah, that looks that so center. So this is, I think this is 2, it should be 33. Like this is 33. So you have that. And then I want to make this mode slightly bigger. Then I also want to make this bigger. So few container. Same thing with these two.
Will you be making that timer live?
It's already live. The timer is
It's
live
live?
already. Yes.
It's not reading. I can't see it reading. It's just static here.
No, yeah, like see. Can you see it?
Oh, okay. So how did you do that again?
It's actually
Did you use a custom code?
Yeah, you can use, it's actually a custom code, but like it's embedded into frame, and like you can just click on insert and then come over to creative and see the date and time there, and then you just need to tweak it. So like now I'm using only date and time here, and then I duplicated it, and then I switched to 24 hours, and then this is like the only text
I
here.
see.
I could actually have like other functionalities.
Yeah. It's like Framer is the go to. I did that this morning as well. I needed custom code to do it.
So like
on
now, so
Webflow.
This is another issue I just noticed now. Like if I'm clicking here, it's not working because the trigger is only on this item here. So I need to fix that. So what I usually do to fix issues like this, sometimes I used to create like hidden frames. They have like the same kind of functionality because I don't like working from the level of the variable container itself, right? So this hidden frame now is users will not be able to tell any difference anyways. So for this now, I'm just going to make it so before what I would want to do is I can like try and match up this functionality, right? So the same thing is just so sometimes if you want to have access to this, like you can see what you need to just do is click on interactions and but the shortcut is just press L on your keyboard and it brings out this line that you can just plug in, right? So same thing for this one. So but like this, like doing it 2 times. So I'm going to cut this, take this and cut it.
Sorry, can you take that again? What are you trying to solve for at the moment? What did you say that toggle is not doing?
So like if I click here, say it's not clicking. But if I click on here, this it. So those empty spaces are not clicking. And for toggles, you need to like your user just have to like click anywhere, right? For it to work.
Okay, I see. So you had to like the precision, you have to be on that right now.
Yeah. So
But you want to mark the space.
Yeah, so what I can do, I'm just going to create a frame and then I can just like call it like maybe or something, touch area.
Oh, I see.
Right. So even for Android devices, this is what people do. So like when you tap on all of those icons, they're actually tinier than your hand can detect. So they always are like this kind of like to make it work. So
extra specimen.
If either you select this and drag or just press L on your keyboard. And because sometimes you can create like a very large item and this is like an easy way to solve it. Okay. So when you click on it, you want that to happen and you click on it, you also want to backtrack. All right. So the other thing that I just want to do is I need to look at the interaction here. So I just have it as simple, just one transition and all. All right. So then I can hide just remove the color. Okay. So again is that when I over on this, right, I want the background to be slightly darker. So I'm just going to do that tertiary, right? So this is like the advantage of what's it called now? The advantage of having all your color styles set for you. Yeah, so text secondary, all right? And then for the circle itself now, I could literally do background tertiary. Okay. So when I go back now and I preview it, so I have this it, and then click and bounces. So I don't think it's excited to see the white. So let's just fix that. So in order to fix that is if I come over to Spring, I have 0.8, 0.5, and yeah, I have 0.85. So I'm gonna make this one 0.8. So that the bounciness is exaggerated, right? So if I go back home now and I preview it, so I have my bounce, this it, and then I have my bounce. So, so that's like the interesting thing about this one. Okay. So now we are almost done. So now let's start making it more beautiful by removing all the relevant colors, right? So what I can do is I can start selecting a container that I think might have that, press shift back to go a level higher and then remove this. Okay. So see, we have this. So I'm going to remove this white background. I no longer need it. Select this, remove the white background. Select this, remove the white background. Go into every element and all of the stack background. Okay. Yeah, I think we're looking much more put together. So it's just a matter of like spacing elements, styling them better and whatnot, right? So if I come back here now, so we have like these spaces compared to this is like too much. So we are doing wrong. So first thing first is I notice that we have like padding here. So I'm gonna move down, right? And then if I preview this, right, I feel like it's still too dark. So what I can do is because now that I have everything as my styles, I can literally come over to assets, come to my colors, select my background secondary and just make it slightly lighter. So maybe like 94, right? Or 96. No, 94. Okay. And see how everything just gets cleaned up easily, right? So next thing I want to do is, this feels too loud right now. So I'm gonna make this 14. Then I want to plug it to background secondary, same with this, text secondary, right? And the advantage of this now is what you're going to see very shortly. So the good thing is that I can switch between light mode and dark mode, right? Then now, let's start changing all of those colors. So what we're going to simply be doing, we're just going to be inverting those colors now, all right? So how to do that is, if I select, come back to assets, come over to like all of my colors, right? I'm just going to like be inverting everything and be taking it all the way from the top. So a good starting point for my dark colors, right? So this is like my background color. So like this is like the darkest thing that I'm ever going to have in this design. So I have 98 here. So that's literally like 02, right? If I'm inverting it, but like this is way, 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 way too dark for what I'm looking to achieve. So I can literally start from like 12, right? And then work my way back up. Okay. So I have this one at 12, I can add this one at, so this is 94. So to have like a very nice elevation, you always want to have like a cleaner level, right? So after having 12, so I could do 16, right? And then so notice how I'm like doing it wrongly, right? So I need to come over here and change it here. So you can see you have your light and your dark mode. Okay. So I'm gonna at 16. So you're not going to see any changes right now. If I come over to my background tertiary, right? Again, so I could do 20. Okay. Then next for my text primary again, I'm inverting it again. So I have this one set to 94, and then I have this one set to say, let's do so it's right now it's on 40. I want to take it like all the way high. So probably like maybe 90. Yeah, let's do 85. Okay. Right. Again, I'm doing wrongly. I need to be in here to change it. 85. All right. So we have changed all our color styles. Okay. So let's switch to dark mode and see magic. Right. So you still notice that we still have like a little bit of issues that we want to quickly fix. So let's just fix that. It's very easy. So for this one, I have this background color here. So, and it's my text secondary. So what I can do is, in order to make my text secondary more elevated, so I can do 24, right? And for this one, it's not connected. That's why. So in order for me to make it connected, I can click on this, and I want to click on what? Text primary, since it's my action button, right? So you can see out of the box, we have that quick contrast, okay? And then for Rouge, again, I can pick text primary, select this, also text primary, right? And then let's just space things out a little bit more. So gap 16, nope, not that. Gap 16, no, too much. Let's just do.
I think it should be about half of that, maybe like 6 or 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think like
that
they have
looks
the same.
good.
Yeah, I think because they have like the same weight. So like having
Yeah, you need to
regular. So like having them as regular would not make it look too busy, right? So I'm gonna keep this regular, right? So notice some things are missing, like the edge of the
yeah,
beam.
looks
Let's just fix for that. So for this one now, I have to come over here, click on edit, and then you want to come like where the color is and then pick what it is again. So for this one, I'm gonna pick text secondary, right? Because like it's already elevated already, so you don't want too much contrast, right? So this is how you'll be able to like switch to light mode and dark mode easily at no extra time. So now we have this all of this section here like this, and you can see when you over, it works as is. Like, so these are like easier and cheaper ways to finish all of this. So in the next class, we are going to see how we are going to, so in the second part series, I'm going to see how we can now extend this further by creating the Masonry Grid. So thank you guys for staying to look at how I'm able to like style this from light mode to dark mode. I'm also going to be like showing you the functionality. And then a bonus is I'm also going to be showing you in the next class, a bonus for you to come to the next classes. I'm going to be showing you how you can recreate something like this. Think, where is it? Yeah, this. Literally the same logic, but you are going to have like access to this particular file here. And let me show you very quickly. So this is it. So you notice that like when I click on this, it changes color. When I click on this, it changes color to the theme of that website, and you can like literally review this. So for those of you that like want to have like a format portfolio, but I think of like what ideas can I use, and you can see like you have all of this here. And you, even if I like maybe add like other duplicates to this, right? And I change it to like feed, set it to start. Where do you go? Give me a second here. Layers, projects.
Is this the same thing as a Photorocha?
No, it's not the same. Like totally, like it's just like the same layout and ideas.
I'm not
right?
getting.
So like I'm just like these are like additional benefit, like the same idea of portfolio, but like how you can take the layout, right, to influence your own idea. So literally like you can have like this as a portfolio. So a quick way to like just make this portion scrollable, like all of this section just scrollable now is taking this section here, then you just want to add overflow to scroll, and you should be able to scroll nicely. So but I think there's a bit of issue here. Yeah, this is it. So with that, if you scroll here now, can you see it? So you can scroll and you have this. So in the next class, you're going to see how you can scroll. Or let me just add that as a bonus so that you can see that this one is also scrollable. What you just need to do in Framer literally is, okay, let me first switch back to light mode. And okay, now I think something's broken here. Our text primary is wrong. So I think we messed it up in this one. So this should be I think it should be, yeah, so this is 94. This should be 32. And what again? Yeah, I think we're back. So now in order to make it scrollable, all of these sections scrollable, you just want to come to pages, come to the layers, go to, so let me just delete all of the relevances. Yeah. So select your side wrapper, and then what you want to do is you want to change this overflow to scroll, and that is it. Okay, and you should be able to scroll. Now if you're not able to scroll, it has to do with your items not being set up properly. So right now I have my width set to fixed, my height set to this. Then let me see why it's not scrolling. Visible, scroll. Yeah, so let's just check everything one after the other. So this should be set to fields. So instead of field, the project section should actually be set to fit, right? Fit content. So and then for this, it should be changed to from distribute to center to start. So once you have that done, you should be able to scroll now cleanly. So you see it. And again, like I said, like this is what I was talking about, like I'm able to like still add a scroll bar to it, right? If you don't want your scroll bar to overlap your element, what you want to do is that you want to account like extra space on the right. Okay, so to do that is, this is your sidebar, right? You want to just do an extra padding on your right. So maybe like 20, something like this, so that when you preview it now and people are scrolling, they can have a very nice and clean scrolling, so that your scroll bar
Is it
doesn't overlap.
possible not to have that scroll bar there? because
Yeah,
you
it's
know
possible.
that in terms of okay, yeah,
You
so
can add, just click on scroll bars, and then when you click on scroll bar, you can just click on hide. And once you hide
okay,
it down
awesome.
on your pad in here, right? Then you can preview this and you can scroll. Okay,
Yeah, I
see?
think that looks better because if you have a scroll bar there, you're also going to need a scroll bar on the other side. So it will
So
look, you'll
now,
be having
to
two
make,
scroll bars on the page.
yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. So to make this more functional, we'd have to see in the other class, and then we also use also have to check in Masonry Grid. So for those of us that would like this link, you can send a DM via email through my portfolio website currently in Framer, or you can tweet at me on X or basically, and then I can also send you the remix link for you to like tweak play around with this design before the next class. So thank you, Shabi. We're going to continue from here in the next class. So please do have a wonderful day. Cheers, guys.